What's going on, guys? Have you ever wondered how to get better at Smite? Well, you clicked on the right video because today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips at how to get better at Smite. If you are new to the channel, my name's Nick. I go by Explosion789. I have played Smite for over 7 years. I have played vigorous amounts of casual and ranked. I've grinded my way up to GM in Duel, Joust, and Conquest, and I've learned a lot. I really have. I've learned a lot over the years, and I'd like to get right into it now. I've compiled my list of the top 5 tips to get better at Smite. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is going to be finding the right controls. You have to be comfortable with your controls, whether you play on keyboard and mouse or controller. So for controller, it's about finding the right layouts. On keyboard, it's the bindings. Maybe you're not comfortable with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you'd like to swap out your 4 with your E key, for your ultimate. Maybe your fingers can't reach. And then likewise with your controller, how you hold the controller, whether you hold it regularly or you play claw or you play any different types. There's millions of different ways to hold a controller nowadays, but you need to be comfortable with your layouts and your bindings. Sensitivity. That is a very, very important thing in Smite. Typically, the higher the sensitivity you have, the more competitive edge you have. Think of looking away from a Medusa ult, but it's not only that, it's just hitting your autos, your ability to turn on somebody, your ability to juke somebody, your ability to aim. That all is dependent on your sensitivity. Now, like I said, the higher it is, the better off you are, but you don't want it to be overly sensitive because then you're going to overcompensate for your autos, overcompensate for your abilities, and you're going to be on Dancing with the Stars ice skating, and that's not good. So you'll need to find a good sensitivity that you feel comfortable with. Last thing is what kind of casting you want. In Smite, there are 3 different ways. There's normal, quick, and insta-casting. Normal, you're going to hit the button or the key, and that's going to give you a 3D projection of what the ability is going to look like. Hit it again, and now you're going to execute the ability. Quick casting is while you hold down the button or the key, it's going to give you that 3D projection, but as soon as you release it, it's going to fire that ability. Insta-casting is pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to fire it as soon as you hit the button. It's going to shoot the ability right then and there. Now, the beauty about Smite is depending on the god that you play, you can literally tweak which abilities. If you're in a game and you hit start on a controller or you hit escape for, you pull up the menu, you can actually click on this thing called abilities and you can change exactly which ability. Maybe you want Anubis's Wrap to be insta-cast, but you want his 3 to be quick cast or normal cast. You can do that. And depending on the god that you play, you can tweak exactly how you want it to be, which is great. But number 1, definitely finding the right controls is paramount for your performance, because if you're not comfortable with your controls, you're never going to be able to master anything other in the game, truly. Number 2, guys, is map awareness. I cannot stress how important map awareness is. You need to know what's going on in your game at all times. And what better way to do that than the map? Hi-Rez puts the map in the game, and you can see so many different things. You can see buff timers, enemy movements. If you've warded, you can see their locations. You can see minion waves. You can see objectives, objective health, timers, everything. It's all included in your map. Now, Hi-Rez gave us the ability to actually move your mini-map. So it starts off at 100% opacity in the top right corner. I personally like to move it to the middle of the screen. That way I am always seeing what's going on. But here's what I do. I enlarge it a bit. I bring down the opacity. Again, this is just what I do, but that way it's always front and center so that I can see what's going on in the game at all times. It is so important to know what is going on. Map awareness wins games, guys. It's huge. And it leads into number 3, which is positive communication. In Smite, there is a VGS system, and learning it and mastering it is so, so very important. It's nice to be able to enjoy things like the skins, like you're to be able to say hello and goodbye and good luck, have fun, there's the simple stuff. Or maybe your friend gets a kill, you say, you rock, unironically. Or maybe you get a triple kill, and you're like, oh, I'm the greatest. It's good to know these things. And the skins are pretty funny as well. But then for the more tactical things like callouts, think of things like, you're in the support lane and you're telling your support, oh, I need to back real quick because I'm out of mana. Be right back. I'm returning to base, things like that. You can say that. So that way he knows, okay, he's coming back, he's out of mana. You can say these things to him. He knows that you'll be right back. He'll hold the wave for you. Maybe you just got a kill in the duo lane, and you just killed the enemy ADC, and your friends are in the jungle, and they're saying, hey, let's go take the Gold Fury. But you're like, you know what? Let me go take his buff. So you can say, I'm going for jungle buff, ping it on the map, and so that way your team is going to know, okay, it's okay to start the Gold Fury. He's just trying to get ahead even more for himself and our team. I know he's going to come, and he's not going to put us in any danger. So that way you get the buff and the Gold Fury. But more than that, you're building confidence in yourself and your team and the teamwork, because once they trust you and they understand what you're doing, it's just going to be great. The other thing when it comes to communication, guys, is especially when you jump in the ranked playlist, unfortunately, there's a lot of toxic players in Smite. We've all been guilty of it. Definitely myself included, but I've tried to step away from that over time. You're going to encounter people that are delicate, and they're going to fly off the rails, and they're just going to make it their mission to unhinge you, ruin your mood, and make you play terrible, and ultimately try to make you lose the game, even on your own team. It's best at this point, guys, to just mute them. They're not going to give you call-outs. They're going to give you fake call-outs, and they're going to just really wear down your mood, which is going to make you play bad and just make you have a bad time. And we play Smite to have fun. We play games to have fun. And especially if you're trying to improve, just mute them, guys. Trust me. It'll go a long way. Number 4 is knowing gods. Listen, at the time of recording this video, there's 124 gods in the game. That's right, 124. Each of them all have at least 4 unique abilities, plus a passive that's going all the time. Yeah, that's a lot to know. I get it. And some are stance changers, which have 6 abilities, 8 abilities, 12 abilities. It's crazy, you know? So it's a big order to try to know what all of them do at a time. But I think it's very paramount to get better at the game, to understand the gods and the roles that they play. Mages, hunters, warriors, guardians, and assassins, they all belong in the game. They all have very different roles. You need to know what abilities do, how long their cooldowns are, what sounds they make. You know, every ability has its own unique sound. So if you're in the solo lane and you're a Hercules versus a Chalk, and then, you know, you see that Hercules uses his ability and you're the Chalk, you're like, okay, well, I know that he has about 10 seconds on his combo, so I'm able to box him more effectively, and then, you know, potentially after doing that a couple times, you get the kill on him. Then when he comes back to lane and he starts going all Macho Man on you, and then you hear a Loki go invisible, okay, I know I'm about to get ulted in 2 seconds. I need to react appropriately to this. I need to pop my ult. I need to have my Aegis ready. Things like that. Sound effects are really going to win the game. One other thing to touch on, guys, is the strengths and weaknesses. So stick it to the solo lane. Maybe you are a Jormungandr and you're going against a Tyr. Now, we know that Tyr's greatest thing is his knockups, his abilities to manipulate your movement and the wave. If Tyr cannot knock you up because you're playing Jormungandr, it is going to be a lot harder for him to win that matchup for you. So especially in ranked, it's good to counterpick and understand God's strengths and their weaknesses. And synergy, but we'll get into that later. This is all about the individual. Number 5, guys, the final thing is the importance of objectives. In Smite, there is a lot of objectives. There's towers, phoenixes, titans, fire giants, gold furies. If you're in your Joust, Bold Demon Kings and / juggernauts, you know, there's many different game modes, but they're all, even minions, you know, these things are all very, very important. It's important to know when to take these things. So say you're in the solo lane, you get a kill on the enemy jungler, and the solo laner, you know, kills are nice. A pick's good, a double kill's even better, but, you know, if you really want to get ahead, then you're going to call your middle laner and your jungler or your support, and you say, hey, you know, guys, let's go take the Pyromancer, because that's going to give us gold, that's going to give us XP. You know, the more XP you have, your abilities are going to hit harder or have more crowd control durations. You're going to get more gold, which is going to enhance your build, which is going to make you do more damage and unlock even more potential for you and your team. And that's how you're really going to start snowballing. You know, if you get a pick on somebody, it's really important, especially in the early game, to try to be aggressive and take their buff. You know, people, especially in duel, people are going to learn that right away, that if you are not getting your buffs, you're going to fall behind so quickly and you're not going to be able to come back from it, especially in duel. But even in a lot of conquest games, taking a buff just 2 or 3 times is really going to put you levels ahead and a whole item ahead, and then it's going to just be a shutout for the rest of the game, guys. But those are my top 5 tips at how to get better at Smite. Again, finding the right controls, map awareness, positive communication, knowing your gods inside and out, and the importance of objectives. If I let something out, if you guys think you have other tips that you think belong in the top 5 tips, an individual can, it's like you really take these tips to heart, you will get better at the game instantly. Whether you are an older player, a veteran, or you're brand new to the game, if you're on this video and you've made it this far into it, that is because you truly want to get better. And I think that's great, guys. I think better players make for better games. It's more engaging, and that's what Smite's really all about. So if I left something out, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments below. If you liked it, you can let me know. If you didn't, also let me know. And if you think a friend needs this, give them a little share. Give them a little share. It's all about building our community, building it together. I'm all about it, guys. This is Nick Fernandez, Explosion789. Thank you so much for watching from the bottom of my heart, and I will see y'all on the battleground.